every country in the world was put on notice by the International Court of Justice that there was a plausible risk of genocide in Gaza.
A team of independent experts commissioned by the UN Human Rights Council has concluded that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, issuing a report Tuesday that calls on the international community to end the genocide and take steps to punish those responsible for it. The deeply documented findings. Yeah, can you believe they were able to find a lot of evidence that it's a genocide? Isn't that crazy? I would have thought there'd be sparse evidence of a genocide. You telling me they had a lot of evidence? Well, that's crazy. The deeply documented findings by the three-member team are the latest accusations of genocide against Netanyahu's government as Israel carries on with its war in Gaza, which has killed tens of thousands of people. Israel rejected what it called a distorted and false report. Oh, who would have thought Israel disagrees? I wouldn't have thought that. After a painstaking legal analysis examining both actions and intent, the commission said Israel has committed 4 of the 5 genocidal acts as defined under an international convention adopted in 1948 known as the Genocide Convention, 3 years after the end of World War II and the Holocaust. The commission finds that Israel is responsible for the commission of genocide in Gaza. It is clear that there is an intent to destroy the Palestinians in Gaza through acts that meet the criteria set forth in the Genocide Convention. For any idiots you see out there, and I've done hard work debunking them, like Ben Shapiro and the Free Press and all of these garbage human beings, Sam Harris, Bill Maher, et cetera, Jordan Peterson. Did a lot of hard work debunking the absolute shit that is vomited out. Yes, they vomit shit out of their face holes. For any of them that want to keep saying that garbage, keep in mind Barry Weiss, who will soon run CBS News. Keep in mind the UN Commission now says it's genocide. You're getting bigger and bigger and more important groups saying this is genocide. Here are, if you were wondering what the 5 acts, 5 criteria are, here they are. Keep in mind while listening to this, to the 5 acts of genocide, that all you have to do is be guilty of one of them. You do not have to be guilty of all 5. If you do one of these things, you are guilty of genocide. Just remember that. Just remember that as I go through the list. Killing members of a group. You may go, well, that's ridiculous because Charlie Kirk was a member of a group. But no, it's killing members of that group simply because they are members of that group. Like you don't even know their name, but they're members of a group and you murder them. That's a genocidal act. Imposing measures aimed to prevent births in the group. Deliberately inflicting conditions calculated to bring about the physical destruction of the group. And finally, forcibly transferring its children to another group. Now, the only one that they claim there is not evidence of is the forcible transfer. There is obviously very clear evidence of forcible transfer. I mean, they're telling people right now that they have to leave Gaza City, right? There's like 1 million people in Gaza City. That's forcible transfer. You're saying you have to leave or we're just going to murder everyone. I think the reason they say there's not evidence of that last one is because it says forcible transfer of its children to another group, basically stealing children and putting them in another group. By the way, we did do to the Native Americans. So that is one of the many aspects of genocide that the Americans committed against Native Americans. Canada did as well, stealing their children, putting them in special schools to basically rip their culture from them. But of course, the only reason Israel hasn't committed that 5th aspect is because they don't care to remove the children. They just want to obliterate everyone. So if you are so genocidal that you just want to kill everyone, you don't need to remove the children or transfer them somewhere. You just murder everyone. And that's what Israel is doing. So again, they only have to be guilty of one of these. And they're guilty of minimum 4 out of 5 of them. So this is a member of that commission that just called it genocide being asked about Israel's response to the report.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry today decried a distorted and false report and said that 3 individuals, so referring to the Commission of Inquiry, 3 individuals serving as Hamas proxies notorious for their openly anti-Semitic positions. Could you please comment on that?
These reports should be taken seriously, but honestly, the Israeli responses are becoming so boring. You know, they say the same thing every time. They're producing the responses by Chat GPT these days. And they spend so much money in the foreign ministry on propaganda, you think that they would actually come up with something original. I would want them to engage with the evidence, but they never engage with the evidence. They put the report into Chat GPT, and then they put out the standard response. So no one takes it seriously, and Jamie, you shouldn't either.
He just refutes. He just says it's just getting boring. They put in a ChatGPT and they don't care. It's a great response. Here's a little more.
The most significant aspect of the interim orders of 26 January 2024 was that every country in the world was put on notice by the International Court of Justice that there was a plausible risk of genocide in Gaza. And if it had not happened before that, it certainly happened then, that every country in the world became obliged under the law to take action, not to speak fine words, to take action to prevent genocide. There can be no doubt whatsoever that that obligation was activated on the 24th of January 2024, if not before. And in response to your question, that applies as much to India as, Jamie, it applies to Germany and the United States, as it applies to my country and every other country.
Well said. Well said. They should have known at minimum 2024 that this was a genocide, and they then should take actions to stop it. Every country should have behaved that way. And of course, none have